tell all my friends to come. I hope there is a crowd. When the house lights all go down and the spotlight is on me, let me tell you how it's gonna be. I'm gonna make history, gonna sing my songs for free, gonna do it just because I love it. Gonna whistle and tap my feet, smile at the people that I meet, 'cause music is the way we rise above it. There's no doubt about it, music gets us through the day. It makes our work go faster, it speeds us on our way. And when we're standing on life's thresholds and we need a little push, music is what gives us that extra little bit of I'm gonna make history, gonna sing my songs for free, gonna do it just because I love it. Gonna whistle and tap my feet, smile at the people that I meet, 'cause music is the way we rise above it. Can you imagine if we couldn't play and couldn't sing or couldn't dance? Couldn't hum while we solve a problem? Couldn't shower in A flat? What if the whole world was tone deaf? Well, I don't want to think about that. I wanna make history, gonna sing my songs for free, gonna do it just because I love it. Gonna whistle and tap my feet, smile at the people that I meet, 'cause music is the way we rise above it. I'm gonna make history, gonna sing my songs for free, gonna do it just because I love it. Gonna whistle and tap my feet, smile at the people that I meet, 'cause music is the way we rise above it. Gonna make history. Gonna make history. Hey, what do you know? There is a crowd. When my father for the last time came home from the sea, he was looking for some solid ground to stand on. Well, that's the one thing I have here in plenty with me. So I told him, why don't you come along? His glory were the waves, the lines taut in the breeze, the starry nights with the bright glowing foam. But the best days of all of his days on the sea were the ones when he came home. And my mother and I, we played his charade, sent him always with style and pleasing, sang his shanties with a will when he went on parade, wished him always the fairest of breezes. Sail away, brave boys, sail away, sail away. Leave your Sally, your Colin, your gloamin'. Well, some men were born for the hearth and the plough, but yours is to always be roamin'. Oh, 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 yours is to always be roamin'. Sailors all, my brothers three, sailors all to a man. Well, the oldest was claimed by the ocean, and only I chose a life locked here on the land, not for me to be always a roaming. He promised my mother one day he'd be done, then the trades would be no longer tempting. He'd wrestle King Neptune and face down old Davy and come home to us a-whistling and smiling. The day came with the news told him far, far away that he'd lost his life's guiding star. They say that he stood still for most of the day, and then he made for the nearest harbor. Sail away, brave boys, sail away, 'cause your Sally, your Colin, your gloaming. The sheets are stretched out, the deck gleams in the sun, but it's time that you were a-going. Ho, ho, home, it's time that you were a-going. Well, he still needs to feel the water moving and slapping, so I keep a boat tied down at the river. And he goes there to hear if the deep's still a-calling, and tries his best to forgive her. And we speak no more of his days on the sea. Well, I'd like to, but I no longer try. It's not that those days must be forgotten, it's just some things it's best to let lie. Sail away, brave boys, sail away, sail away. Sally's waiting at home with young Colin, and she'll be there waiting for you when your journey is done, and the boy will be always growing. Oh, oh, the boy will be always a-growing. Well, sometimes he'll come to stand by my door in the night, and then we'll sit quiet with no need to talk. And I know that he's thinking of her waiting by the window or walking up on her widow's walk. And I wonder, did he never leave us at all? Or did he never come back from the sea? And I wondered, did I never, ever let him go? That's why he's anchored on the land here with me. Sail away, brave boys, sail away, sail away. There's your Sally, your Colin, your gloaming. Well, this sea's made a widow of many a wife, but you shall no longer be roaming. No, you shall no longer be roaming. Storytelling is a great tradition with music, especially folk music. It's as old as Homer, and how he used to come out with his harp and be the after-dinner entertainment. Well, another tradition that's just as long is the tradition of social commentary. And of course, back in the 60s, we had groups like Peter, Paul, and Mary and the trios, the Kingston Trio and the Chad Mitchell Trio, and we had Joan Baez and Joni Mitchell and Bob Dylan and Arlo Guthrie and all those guys, all doing social commentary. And then rock and roll took over the torch, and nowadays we have groups like Pink, or an artist like Pink, and groups like Linkin Park and Coldplay and Green Day carrying on this great tradition. Well, I have an entrance into that great grand tradition. In order to, this song, I really didn't intend to write this song, so I'm thinking there's some things in life maybe we shouldn't be held accountable for. And this is maybe one of them. in order to get into the mood for this song, you do kind of have to go back to the days of Arlo Guthrie and, that sort of thing. I call it the glass half empty blues. Well, it seems to me we're all afraid of all the things we fear. A Great Depression's on the way, and Armageddon's drawing near. The news is all about layoffs, and foreclosure's always cool. I think I'll run out back and drown in my swimming pool. No one pays attention while we sneak in and pull the plug. We're all dying way too easy and none of us been mugged. We're just giving it up. Here, take it. All of what I got is free. Can you spell Patriot Act? I've decided life's too hard. That's why I watch reality. Well, the neighbor kid has this band, but they're not rocking anymore. And the local theater's gone dark. Not this one, fortunately. They've closed up all their doors. Because live performance is just too messy and unpredictable, so it's better to watch it on TV. That's why we got pay-per-view and Netflix. Now it's just you and me. Because the dancers, the artists, actors, all forgot their lines. Those guys did. And the dancers couldn't dance, and the trapeze act was grounded because the lawyers wouldn't take the chance. And the orchestra pit was just this one guy on a solo violin, but he never could quite figure out how to tuck it beneath his chin. And the writer, he had a terminal case of the I'm unworthy flu. He was feeling kind of depressed, and so he passed it on to you. Nobody's talking about his book. His ideas are all out of vogue. And I never thought I'd see this day by the time I got this old. And it makes me feel so angry. I think I'll write a song. Give me a chance to rant and rave about everything that's wrong. I got a lot to say, but don't like to talk if you don't like to listen. So someone turn my mic up and you'll know what you've been missing. Nobody's talking to each other anymore. That's so yesterday. Looks like Main Street lost to Big Box, and the newspapers seen better days. Now we got post comments here, which means rudeness and sarcasm and whining and trivia and conversations all been closed. Don't be talking to each other. You might be exposed. 'Cause the nice thing about the internet is you can be who you will be. Go ahead, be someone else. Identities are free. So give yourself a screen name, change your sex, and change who is me. You can be anything you want thanks to anonymity. We got YouTube, so you can be Steven Spielberg for a day. Here's me, my naked body, my grandma Maggie May. I got so many cougars and predators and God only knows who, and they're all camped out on my wireless, and it's looking like a zoo. So tune into my webcam and you can see how much it snowed. Or watch me tell you how the bailout got rid of what I owed. I got my bonus, I got my spa retreat, and I got this system down cold. I got my bling and silk pajamas, and all it cost me was my soul. And here's this new tune I wrote. I wrote it just today. You don't have to pay for it, just download it for free. Just take it when you want it, 'cause we pirates never pay. Then we give it to the rest of you. Hey, happens every day. Well, I'm tired of trying to figure out if it's half empty or full. At least we know the politicians are full of it when it comes to bull. Well, the preacher says he wants my tithe, and Lord knows I paid my dues. And that's why I'm the one who's sitting here with these glass half-empty blues. That's why I'm just a-sitting here with these glass half-empty IMHO blues. Where do these things come from sometimes? Well, every now and then somebody writes a serious song about a serious issue, and that would be the case with this next song. This was actually written back in the 1930s during the first Great Depression, and it's been recorded by a number of different artists. I think Bing Crosby actually did this song at one time. More recently, on YouTube, I found a recording of George Michael doing this song. I learned it listening to a Spanky and Our Gang album. Does anybody remember Spanky and Our Gang? Buddy, can you spare a dime? They used to tell me I was building a dream, and so I followed the mob. When there was earth to plow or guns to bear, I was always there, right there on the job. They used to tell me I was building a dream with peace and glory ahead. Well, then why should I be standing in line just waiting for bread? Once I built a railroad, I made it run, made it race against time. Once I built a railroad, now it's done. Buddy, can you spare a dime? Once in khaki suits, gee, we look swell, full of that Yankee doodly-dum. 500,000 boots went slogging through hell. I was the kid with the drum. Say, don't you remember you called me Al. It was Al all the time. Say, don't you remember? I'm your pal. Buddy, can you spare a dime? Once I built a tower to the sun, brick and rivet and lime. Once I built a tower, now it's done. Buddy, can you spare a dime? Once in khaki suits, gee, we look swell, full of that Yankee Doodle Dum. 500,000 boots went slogging through hell. I was the kid with the drum. Say, don't you remember? You called me Al. Yeah, hey, it was Al. All the time. Say, don't you remember? I'm your pal. Hey, buddy, can you spare a dime? Say, don't you remember? I'm your pal. Hey, buddy, can you spare a dime? It's a reference in that song to World War I. If you travel around Scotland, as I have done, you will find in even the smallest, tiniest of villages, the wee villages, a monument to the Great War. That's what they call World War I. They're all pretty much the same. They have a stone obelisk, and then they'll have the names inscribed on them of the fallen. And when you look at those monuments, you realize the truth of something you've read about as you've learned history, which is how that war devastated a whole generation of young men in Great Britain and Europe. The Germans had a saying in that war that the British troops fought like lions, but they were led into battle by donkeys. A reference to the practice of the British commanders to send their troops in wave after wave of charges, suicide charges across no man's land. Well, I remembered those monuments and I wrote a song about it. and every town in Scotland. And near every moor and dell stands a monument to freedom and all the boys who fell. I stood in a Highland wind in a tiny Highland town, where the mothers and the fathers, the defenders of the crown, carved three words into the stone when they laid their children down. They said, too many. Gone. Normandy and Arlington, and the never-ending names carved in the wall. They all sing the same refrain in answer to it all. Too many. Too many. Gone. Too many. In the year of the yellow cab, in the shadow of the Great World War, the third kid Grandmom had came into this world on a rolling farm in Maryland when Wilson was the president. And summer blew her goodbyes through the trees. A child of changing times, growing up between the wars. The Fords rolled off the lines, the bars all closed their doors. And I imagine you back then with snap brim cap and farmer's tan, when horses drew their wagons through the fields. But now the fields are all 4 lanes, and the moon's not just a name. Are you more amazed at how things change, how they stay the same? Do you sit here on this porch, wonder how the time flies by? Or does it seem to barely creep along? With 75 Septembers come and go. Where the fields all golden fall, was the spring house dark and cool? Did the rooster crow at dawn when they got you up for school? And would you tell me once again the tales of Granddad's hired men, and how they drove the old dirt road to town? Because the fields are all 4 lanes, and the moon's not just a name. Are you more amazed at how things change, how they stay the same? Do you sit here on this porch, wonder how the time flies by? Or does it seem to barely creep along? With 75 Septembers come and go. In the year of the yellow cab, in the shadow of the Great World War. Been a lot of really great American folk songs written on the topic of freedom. And I knew I wanted to do one at this part of the program, but I just wasn't sure which one to sing until Mr. Eddie A.J. Martin appeared in my life. So I'm going to sing his song. And you get to help me sing it, because there's a line in here that goes, "My best friend Eddie A.J. Martin." And when we get there, you get to say, shout, actually, the words Eddie A.J. Martin while I'm singing them. Okay? Think you could do that? Okay. Well, so we got to practice here, warm up the vocal cords. Okay, on 3, we're going to say, we'll start easy. We'll start with saying it. So, on 3, 1, 2, 3. Eddie A.J. Martin. Let's ramp it up just a little bit, okay? So, 1, 2, 3. Eddie A.J. Martin. Okay, now we're going to shout it, okay? 1, 2, 3. Eddie A.J. Martin. Good. Now, the first time we get there, you won't know what to expect, so I'll